Hi guys, what's going on, and welcome back to another episode of Total War Arena. So, what are we going to be doing today? We are going to be contrasting both of our Wardogs between Boudica and Arminius, just to sort of see how the two of them compare, and to see which one we think is perhaps a better commander choice to be going with, or if not, which is better, to at least compare sort of the differences between the two, to see what might best fit in with your playstyle. So, obviously, they're quite radically difficult. Boudica is, supposed to be the Wardog commander and has some sort of traits that are specifically orientated towards that. Obviously, Fury at the end of the day is just a basic charge, but it's a nice charge. It gives quite good impact damage. It's a long charge, good 4-second duration, and it gives good movement speed boost. So it's a nice charge. I do like the Fury charge. Then Ambush is basically a Wardog specific charge because it has the one real benefit of making dogs immune to strikes. That means, say, if your dogs are off against cavalry, then Mount Kick won't have any effect on them. If they're attacking Spearmen, Shield Bash won't affect them because they are immune to strikes. Strikes no longer do damage to dogs, and strikes are one of the most effective things against dogs. So having an ambush in this sort of situation does make the dogs significantly more resilient to sort of fighting, so that's certainly a good thing. Plus, it increases the charge impact and impact damage of your dogs as well, so it makes them a little bit better in their initial charge. Then, obviously, Rebellion is sort of the classic Boudica ability. Affects everyone. It's a really nice ability. 20% weapon damage, 30% melee defense, and 30% positive ground effect modifier. So if you're in a forest, then you, as a barbarian, you're going to be getting even more of a buff with that positive ground modifier effect as well. So, yeah, quite a lot to be said for Rebellion. The one consequence of it is it has a 10-second wind-up time. So that means you can activate it before you actually get into the fight, which can be tough to do sometimes. If you sometimes get stuck into fights where you're into a forest, don't know there's going to be an enemy there, and suddenly, boom, you're in a fight. You don't always get to get Rebellion activated, so that can be a bit of a risk. And if we contrast that to Arminius, whose really all abilities are all revolving around movement speed. Momentum and infiltration are both about movement speed in this case. They obviously charge impact damage as well, but since you have no charge at all, and the unit itself doesn't have any sort of charge, it doesn't have like a reckless charge or something like that to also have used, then you get no charge, so all those impact damages are completely wasted. So it's all about the movement speed. And the movement speed is nice. You do get quite a decent movement speed with Arminius, and that's one of the main benefits. Of course, you also get a frenzy, which increases your melee attack and very, very slightly your weapon damage. But obviously there is a consequence to that in the sense that you lose basically all your melee defense. That means obviously they can land hits on you as easily as you can land hits on them. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, really. But great at sort of routing units and stuff like that. So I think we'll hop into a battle. Let's go with Boudica first, being the sort of traditional, more traditional Wardog commander, and then we'll switch over to Arminius and sort of draw some conclusions about what we think is the better choice. So we are loading into Salernum with our Wardogs. Which obviously I want to be going on the roughly somewhere around the outside. City, as a general rule, is not the place for Wardogs. Does not suit them very well. Obviously, the only bit of forest we've really got to play in is this little snippet here, unless I want to go really a long way around the outside. But you've not got really any speed bonuses. We've got no speed bonuses at all with Boudica, so you're not that quick. So you'd be better off getting stuck into this forest here. So we've got some Falksmen and some Barbarian Infantry with us as well, so maybe we stand up with a decent chance here.
The enemy base or
We get ourselves moving forwards. We'll get into this long grass here, at least give us some visibility protection, depending on if it goes for the capture flag. Got our cleavers coming this way. Oh, I've got some of the Tyrek premiums as well, the Berserkers. Nice. So, let's see what we encounter once we get into this forest. So far, nothing's gone for the flag. Sometimes their cavalry make a bit of a dash for it at the start, so we may end up finding that. Let's just see. Nothing yet. There we go, there's something's got it there. So we're now being spotted, which is obviously tougher for us, yes. Pain. Looks like, judging from those spearmen, have seen us and are deciding to beat a retreat. So that suggests to me that more than likely we've probably got the superior numbers. Otherwise they wouldn't be running away. Oh, elephant.
The enemy has first.
Is it just the one elephant? Okay, this is a bit harder. Do that in case these cavalry are going to try and...
For the gods!
That was an error. That was badly played. Because I've now got to wait for the cooldown on that. I don't want to wait. No, my poor dogs.
We're under attack.
Not going to win that charge. This is not a fight I wanted to get in like this at all. This has gone badly. This was what we could call, in the trade, massive error. Oh, the poor dogs come back to me. Oh, this is going to rout. Nice. Okay. Alright. Well, this is a fight. I had not intended to get into this sort of situation this early on. How can I be recharged, you bloody bastards? I'm not going to charge back either. Oh, this is going to really hurt. Oh, it's one of the real weaknesses of dogs is this just incessant cavalry charges just absolutely devastate me. They're just so effective. Go on. Ah, barbarian infantry trying to get in there. At least we're getting some damage on the run. We've got a slam on them, so they're struggling to get away. I'm going to get a rout on them, actually. Chase those bastards down.
Arminius is dead.
Right, still got these spearmen. They're trying to form a line to retreat to by the looks of it, but we'll get our dogs in. That'll soon cut them down, because obviously dogs get no damage while the enemy's in phalanx. So that means we'll see the easy man. Look how quickly our dogs rip through them. They can't escape, and they can't do any damage to the dogs while they're in that mode. And there they go. So, that's not such a bad start. Let's just get round and finish these people off. I know I'm blobbing up a little bit here. Nice wall charge. Rear flag. And then okay. So, what's the situation? We've got some elephants in front of us. That's something we really need to avoid because they just screw our dogs over so quickly. I'm going for this flag point. We've got some of this enemy cav down here. You know, it wouldn't be so bad for us to engage that. But it's the elephants are too close for me to reasonably get in very nicely. Looks like all our barbarian cav is getting in there as well. Not quite so bad now. We forgot to activate our rebellion as well, which was a real shame, but we kind of got into combat a bit quicker than I had expected. And obviously you've got to remember, rebellion's got that 10-second wind up, so we've got to be a bit careful of that. Looks like we might be getting into a fight here, possibly, so I'm going to get our rebellion up and running. We go for it just briefly. We can pull ourselves out if we need to. Get some dogs in. Go to ambush so they can't be affected by those elephants are there. I just don't want to just... Yeah, look at the amount of damage we're taking from that elephant. Ah, so painful. Okay, let's just get out. The dogs will come back to me. Let's just abandon them. It looks like this is actually going quite badly, this battle. Why are they going quite so slowly? A little bit of a speed debuff in the forest, I assume, but it shouldn't be that big. Looks like they lost a lot of their group cavalry doing that, but all their elephants are still in really good condition. So, what have we got over here? We've got all their artillery. Looks like they're defended. Are they together? No, they're not actually in a party. So we've got all these Romans to contend with here, these equal cohorts. That's going to be quite tough for us. They're Arminius. But there is 3 crews of artillery and 1 cavalry there. I'm not quite sure where those berserkers are going. I think the best bit, we can start to pressure some of these artillery crews. That's going to give us some good... at least bring the battle a bit closer to us. And artillery is one of those things that you really need to start trying to take out as early on as you can, because the longer it's alive, the more damage it racks up. It's just continually applying that damage. Come on, we should be able to flank these Romans. Where am I going to go? I'm going to squeeze through this gap here, I think. A blob up temporarily. Looks like they're getting the nice rat on them. Good job, Falksman. Well played. We'll come around the back and I'll stop them from seal the gap. Make it into a bit of a pocket. What's this? Friendly or enemy? Friendly. Good. Ow! Oh god, that these stones. Painful. Okay, let's try and kill these Romans quickly, and then let's start to get up onto this cavalry. Or looks like our barbarian infantry are going to go straight for that, which is good. That's fine by me. Get the kill on them. Make sure these Romans here die. Just go for a final slam. Come on, surely they've not got many people left. Surely they must be entering the Ravering State in a minute. Oh, the other ones are ratting as well now. Oh, these elephants are here. Are they going to defend their artillery? Yes, they are. That's fine. These people are consistently trying to hold on, aren't they? These Romans infantry are really tough. Even in routing, they're quite hard to kill, giving us a good amount of damage then. I think we need to think about getting out of this fight now. Those elephants are turning up, particularly now there's another one on the way as well. Go for a slam. Oof, and try and use that as our break moment to try and get out of this fight. Make for the forest, because the elephants will have a harder time. I'll get a little bit of damages on as a stampede, but it's not particularly effective, the elephant stampede. He should know that, and he seems to have realised that's not why he's not even bothering to try and... There we go, ratted those Romans. They should have a hard time catching up with us in the forest. get a bit of a knockdown there, which is annoying, but nothing too bad. And it looks like that all the enemy artillery crew is now dead, so we've all got these elephants to contend with. Just trying to keep it out of their way. I certainly don't want to be fighting them with Wardogs. The handlers are not suited to this sort of thing. So, there's some Romans here. I need some more support. I can't fight them entirely just with my little lot here. I need a little bit more around to get stuck in. It's slowly diminishing down these elephants, but it's looks like having a bit of a hard time of it, to be honest. Where I could do with some sort of a Vercingetorix would be handy because I could burn these Romans. But it looks like some of our guys are going to get stuck in. Get a rebellion winding up.
Who's with me? We're under attack.
I love people killing themselves on walls. I do it as well. It's so easily done, but it is quite funny. Nice early charge. Not going to do a lot because we're just mostly going to get stopped by our own infantry. There we go. We'll get in. See what, if anything, damage we can get in. Pour on this little bit of Romans, but they're being cut down so quickly. I don't think we're even going to get much damage. Our dogs are going to try and get their way to the front. One of the good things about dogs is actually the actual dogs themselves force their way to the front of all fighting. So it means you can get damage in on routing units, and often not too badly. So what have they got left? Their elephants are a pain, but they're starting to get diminished now. I'm surprised this Melkart doesn't go for them with his gore. We'll be able to stand a reasonable chance of killing them off. We'll just keep out of the way of them, I think. Oops, some Greeks. Oh, we actually got them on the charge there. Right, blank. Let's get out of the way. The elephants! Run away! That's the one risk with Wardogs, you see. You can see those elephants are specifically targeting us because they know full well there's all the extra points to be had from us. It makes us quite a juicy target. That's one of the risks of Wardogs, is that you're kind of vulnerable in that sense of being a prime target for enemy units. But let's just keep out of their way. No point losing all our units to a couple of Wardogs, a couple of elephants. I feel like we've almost certainly won this battle, but there's not so many points in it that I wish to take the chance. Go for these pikes down here. Make sure we'll clear the elephants. They might do that. This one stupid problem with Wardogs is the way they deploy. It's so infuriating. But these guys are going to rout. See, like them, for example, the elephant is quite a long way behind us, yeah, and we're deployed over here. Yet the elephants, first thing they do is just deploy straight, you know, onto to doing that. Oh, get out. Do I have any Wardogs left? Oh, yeah. So what few dogs we have? One. Oh, 2, 3. And our dogs should be able to get to the front and at least get in and get some damage. Hey, a little bit of damage. There we go. Even a handful of dogs can be kind of a break up the remains of this little pike formation by the looks of it. They actually seem to be doing fairly effectively. Because they can't be hit. While these guys are in phalanx, they can't get any damage on these dogs. So these dogs can cut them down quite quickly. And we've got our ambush on, so it also means that even if they use something like shield bash or something, it won't actually affect the dogs. So that's one of the real benefits of Boudica, is the fact that, you know, you can avoid all strikes. Really kind of useful in terms of being able to keep your dogs alive. So I think it's a fair overview of how Boudica kind of plays like. What are the advantages? Well, the advantages are obviously ambush, the fact you can avoid strikes. It does give you a slight charge impact bonus that may make fetch a bit more useful, in the sense that you may occasionally be able to beat cavalry on the charge, which is good, but it's kind of, I find it pretty hit and miss, and often doesn't really work quite right. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So fighting cavalry is still a dangerous game. What else is there? On top of that, there is Rebellion, which is obviously a nice little buff ability. Gives quite a lot of bonuses: 30% melee defense, weapon damage, positive ground effect modifier, and it applies to the dogs as well, so long as it activates while they're still in range. So you know, that's nice because it can increase the damage of your dogs, and obviously 45-second duration, quite good. So if we're going to be contrasting that, we're going to be contrasting that against Arminius, who's going to play quite differently, because he's basically swapping all his things like the resilience to strikes, extra sort of weapon damage for movement speed. Because obviously it's all going to be the infiltration, which is movement speed, and the momentum, which is movement speed. And you're also not going to have a charge, because you've not got the fury charge, which is occasionally useful, that fury charge, particularly for catching archers and stuff. It's a really good long charge, so it can be nice. But we do, of course, get Frenzy as well, which is not such a bad ability. So it has flaws and against. So let's hop in with Arminius, see if we think it's a better unit combination. So we are loading into our battle with Arminius. Gonna see how this one goes. Lots of cavalry around. Quite a lot going on this flank, which is kind of putting me off wanting to go this way. Because, you know, Wardogs are ultimately a support unit. And if there's nothing there to support, you're not really a support unit, you're just a frontline unit. So I kind of want to stick more with people. But we do have a bit of speed, obviously, with Arminius that you don't get with anyone else. So we have a few more options. We go straight on with our infiltration and then with our momentum. Obviously, I always end up forgetting about infiltration, so I just now turn it on at the start and then I don't have to worry about it. Get its movement speed use out of it at the start, and then I'm happy. So it looks like we've got some cavalry going this way, some archers. They've got one unit spearmen over there, and the people here are fairly thinly spread out. A bit too much cavalry. Well, having said that, there's not actually that much, but still. What have we got coming? Infantry, 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 cavalry, cavalry, cavalry.
The enemy draws first blood.
Not exactly the sort of start I would have picked. I don't feel this bodes very well. Like our archers are getting some shots in, but I don't know what we're going to do here. There's a lot of ranged stuff on that side. Hopefully our archers are going to be able to get some damage in. See why they're focusing on the Romans. They're going to be in trouble. And they've got slingers in the centre. Right, well, let's go around this way into the forest. And sort of see maybe we can get some flanks on some of these people. The barbarians should be a bit more vulnerable to the archers. Wow, they're doing quite a lot of damage already. And we can conceivably maybe rear flank some of these Romans, but they're all going to be vengeance, aren't they? And they're doing a good job of killing those other ones because the Scorched Earth's doing a very good job. Yeah. Are these guys going to want to fight me? That's the next question. They're still going to have a Scorched Earth as well. So yeah, the problem is going into the back of this, yeah, I may get a rout, but I'm more than likely not, because any rear flank's not going to be enough, you see. And that it's not. I'm going to have to force them to fight these people. And they've got a charge off on a really effective charge. Blimey, that was a good charge. How can we be routing already? Yes, we've just really lost this already. Oh, no, Iron Discipline. I don't know how that was a surprise flank. You know, like, you could see them entirely. I'm just going to get slaughtered by my own people then, by the looks of it.
No prisoners.
It looks like they took quite a lot of damage as well. Maybe it's not gone quite so badly. Nice if this unit can return to the fight. They've just gone so negative on their morale, it's just ridiculous. We need to make sure we keep out of the way of those Romans. Didn't make sure their vengeance drops off properly.
On to glory.
Okay, so this unit is so bloody routed. Come back! You're useless. Well, this was not the start I had intended, and we're being capped out.
Glory awaits.
I'm nowhere near them. We have to get back in. Oh, they've decided to return to the fight. Finally. Let's see if we can head back towards base. What is it capping? And cavalry. Are they still in vengeance? No, they're not actually vengeance. We could deploy our dogs here, conceivably. Now all their vengeances have dropped off, it's not quite so bad.
Battle calls.
The dogs in first and a charge. Get a bit of knockdown. Let's try and get in round the back. Got to cause more than one rear flank though. We've got to get a right and a rear. Enough like that. That's a bit better. Bit better. Give me just a left. I need more than a left. I need a rear as well. Come on, give me a rear flank, please. There we go. It's a bit better. We're going to get our slam back.
No prisoners.
This is going to hurt. Turn around. Oh, so vulnerable to charges. That's one of the worst things about Wardogs on the whole, is just their vulnerability to enemy charges. And cavalry charges. They just get so, they have such poor charge defense. They just get so decimated. You see, we're now caught in a fight that we really can't do anything about unless our archers are actually doing quite a nice job here. Although it's quite painful for us as well because we have no, even with the improved missile block tactics, they're pretty poor. Okay, you can stop at that. Please stop. Please stop. They're just killing us. Okay, there's about 4 people left alive. Let's try and get these people out. My dogs are dead. I can accept that. What have we got here? Loads of Greek cavalry. Struth. Assuming they're all in Oath of Perseverance. Doesn't look like they actually are. Okay. I'll try and keep close to the wall so they can't get a good charge on me. Can you get a flank on this? You dead at least. Can you give me a rear flank? Is that going to be enough? 1. Ah, one of those games. It's just a stressful one. Come on, give me another modifier, please. Yeah, no, still the one. There we go. There we go. Okay, some cavalry there. Right. Avoid the cavalry charge. Avoid the cavalry charge. Come back round. Oh, God, there's more. Avoid the cavalry charge. Wait till they get stuck in. Oh, a bit slow on that. The charge too late there, really, to do much damage to us. Well, they're still getting a fair bit in. Wait till people get stuck. Oh, you slam. Oh my God! Then we got mount kicked. I think I'm gonna have a breakdown in a minute. How our archers are still alive, I don't know. I think it's because everyone seems to want to cavalry charge us. Let's go for a frenzy. If we can get much damage on, but we've not got many units left alive, so it's going to be hard.
No mercy.
Slam them, they can't escape quite so easily. And kill these people in the monsters. What's turned up some friendly spearmen? Okay, well we now really literally do always have 4 people. Looks like this battle is turning massively against us. It's been such a tough fight from start to finish. It's probably not the best demonstration of Arminius, but it does kind of show some of the lacking abilities, I think, of Arminius. You know, rebellion in this situation where we're in such a tight-knit fight would be so much more useful because, you know, obviously rebellion applies to everyone, not just your own units. For God's sake. Bloody cavalry. The main thing I think we've learned is that the Wardogs really suck against cavalry. It's just such a persistent problem. Yeah, obviously we have no charge, which makes it hard to getting stuck into fights to get flanking modifiers. You know, charges are great for getting really stuck into fights nice and easily. They do allow you to do quite a lot in that sort of way. Getting around here, we should be able to just flank these couple of legionaries just to kill them off a little bit quicker. About to get rear flanked by a horse. Will you give me a rear flank? Thank you. How I didn't get the routed for that, I don't know. I feel cheated. Right. Let's carry on. We're going to get capped out, but obviously we've so lost this battle, it really is not particularly relevant. Blood Riders, don't want to get stuck in by them. We've still got these archers left alive. I've probably done fairly well considering, to be honest. The amount of damage they've actually managed to achieve is not too bad. Looks like a handful of people are holding out into base. We do have good speed. You know, if it wasn't such a close battle, you know, this is one of the benefits of Arminius, is then how quickly you can move to actually get back to base. And we must be rocking about 5.5 on the movement speed, which we are, which is really good. That is a lot better than Boudica, and is one of the better. You can see the animation of the models running quickly down the hill. That is one of the benefits of you know, Arminius dogs over Boudica is the movement speed. But I don't know. It's the movement speed's nice, but does it make up for some of the lacking of any other real abilities? You know, frenzy, there's nothing wrong with frenzy, but of course there is, as much of it's a benefit as much it can be, as much a counter for the amount of you know, melee defense debuff that you get. Like now, a charge would just be wonderful. You know, if I was Boudica, I'd have caught them, because the charge would have been so much better. And now, you know, they obviously have their rapid advance, which means they're fairly quick for a fairly long period of time, and I have a hard time catching them. And I've got no charge to actually knock any of them back. You see, I can run into them, start to get some damage, but it makes it hard to keep it up. Get in with our bullets and slam. You know, ultimately we're doing it. We're just trying to get a little bit of extra damage at the end of the fight. And they've got their rapid advance back, you see. So even a bit of movement speed isn't all that useful. Now we're going to get heavily charged. Oh, and that spells the end of our game. So yeah, is Arminius better? I just can't help feeling that he's not. The movement speed is nice. I get that. And I get that's why a lot of people prefer Arminius over Boudica. But I just kind of find again and again that the movement speed is great and it is nice. It does give you more options. But then when you get there, you've not really got any ability to do that much damage. You know, the lack of a charge is really annoying. I think all infantry units need some sort of charge, even if it's just a basic harass or something, would just be so useful to have. So that's kind of why I like Boudica, because she's got the fury charge and stuff like that, which I think is nice. You know, and then things like the ambush is good for the fact that the dogs don't get affected by strikes. You know, things like Mount Kick are just so devastating against dogs, and yet if you've got your ambush on, then it's not. And then obviously Rebellion is great because it gives you really strong buffs, but not only you, it gives the enemy, your allied units buffs as well, so it's quite good as a supporting role in the sense that Arminius isn't. And really, as considering Wardogs really primarily a support class rather than sort of an independent fighting unit, I just feel that Boudica is probably the better choice. But having said that, you know, part of it is down to your personal playstyle. I think there's benefits to both, and you know, I certainly wouldn't say that never use Arminius. I think Arminius is fine. For me, I prefer Boudica. So that's kind of my little summary of Wardogs. Hopefully that was not too frustrating at the end. It was such a frustrating game for me. I'm tempted just to stop recording and start that one again, but it's kind of interesting and goes to show even I get frustrated in my battles sometimes, and I'm normally calm. So yeah, hopefully that was interesting. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Subscribe to the channel for lots more Total War Arena content, and I shall see you all on the next episode.